Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of The Math Geek. In this video, we are going to be doing a part 2 of the coding challenge series, where I'm going to be making a phone book. So, in this phone book, we have a few features. The first feature is to add contact. So I'm going to add a contact called the Math Geek. Okay, now I need to enter the Math Geek's phone number. Well, I'm going to be tricky, and I'm going to enter something that's not his phone number. What? That's not a valid phone number? Okay, I need to enter a 10-digit number. So I added a feature where you can only enter a 10-digit number as the phone number. And yeah, let's add another contact. It's called the Coding Geek. Now please enter the Coding Geek's phone number, 0000, and successfully added that contact. Now, I'm going to search for a contact. I kind of forgot the Coding Geek's phone number. Please enter the name. Let's enter the name, the Coding Geek. Aha, found the contact. Okay, that's the Coding Geek's phone number. On second thought, I don't really want him in my phone book. I only want the Math Geek. So I'm going to remove him. And there we go. Successfully deleted the Coding Geek from the phone book. So these are the 3 features of the phone book that I'm about to code. Let's get right into it. So I've opened up a brand new Replit, and I'll leave the link in the description so that you can create your own Replit account. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to import their built-in database from Replit import db. So this is their built-in database, and this might not seem really intuitive at first, but there's this really weird bug that I really don't want to deal with. And to fix that, I'm going to do a db.clear at the start, which clears the database. Now we're going to have a main page. So in this main page, we're going to want to give the user some options. They can remove, add, and search for contacts. So let's print welcome to the main menu. Now I'm going to add a space right here. I'm going to add a line break. To add a contact, please press 1. Another line break. To remove a contact, let's put search as a second one. To search for a contact, please press 2. And to remove a contact, please press 3. And these are our 3 options, and we've given the user these options. And what I'm going to do is I am going to test this method. I'm going to test this function, So I'm going to call main page down here and see if it actually works. And it's going to install. Yay, it worked! We have a very nice menu right here. And what we want to do is we actually want to interpret the data that the user enters. So I am going to put a blank input here. User input is equal to blank input with a blank question inside, because our question is in the print. And I'm going to say if user input is equal to 1, then I want to call a method, which I'm going to add later, which is called add contact name. Elif, if the user input is 2, we're going to want to call a method, a function, sorry, these are not methods, these are actually functions. that is called search for specific contact. And lastly, we're going to want to do another elif user input equals 3. We're going to want to call, oh, and then I forgot to put some brackets around that after that. So I'm going to want to call a method called remove contact. The user input is, and then after all this, we're going to do an else. This is if the user enters anything else. I'm going to want to say to them, let's say that's not a valid option. Please enter something else. And we're going to want to call the same function again. So great, we have a working main menu, but we need our 3 functions to work as well. So first, I'm going to add a function called add contact name. Well, actually, first I'm going to add a function called check phone number. This will come into play later. You might not understand what this is for now, but it will come into play later. Don't worry, we'll understand it. Contact name. We're going to pass on a parameter called contact name. And we're going to want to print, now please. We're going to want to do an F string. An F string is a formatted string. So now please enter. And we're going to want to put these curly brackets. And inside this, we're going to want to put contact name. So it formats contact name inside of the string. And then we're going to do this phone number. There we go. Then phone number equals the input. That. And then if phone number is numeric and the length of phone number is equal to 10, we're going to want to return phone number. And can you guess where the checking if it's a 10-digit number came from? It came from this line right here. We're going to want to return phone number, but if they don't enter a 10-digit number, we want to print that is not a valid phone number. And we're going to want to call this function again. Okay. Oh, whoops. What happened there? Contact name is a parameter. So now this function is done. And now you will start to make sense of this. We're going to add our add contact name function. Def add contact name. So we want to give the user a message first that they chose to add the contact's name. They chose to add a contact. So print, you have chosen to add a contact. Please tell me what the name of your contact is. Then we're going to do colon right there. And then again, we're going to do an empty input. Oh, and we cannot name our variable input, so we're going to name it user input. Actually, a better name for this would be contact name. Equal to input of empty string. So what we want to do is we want to do a dot strip and dot lower on this. So we can strip all of the white space. So if someone accidentally types space, whoops, I accidentally typed a bunch of spaces, then I type the name, it removes all those spaces and it makes it all lowercase. I mean, not everyone would want their contact's name to be lowercase, but the program only works if it's lowercase, so we're gonna keep it like that. And then we're gonna say phone number is equal to check phone number. Then inside of this, we're going to pass a parameter of contact name. So I hope you now get what check phone number is doing. We ask the user to enter their contact's name, then it checks, and then it calls this function right here, and it asks in this function to enter the phone number, and then it returns phone number and sets this variable as equal to what it returns. So that's what the check phone number function does. And we want to do, after this, what we want to do is we want to enter it into the database. So I can go here for you, right here. And it teaches us a little bit about the Replit database. So to set a key to a value, we do db and then the key. So in our case, the key is going to be the name, contact name, equal to phone number. And now the key is entered in the database, but the user doesn't know that. So let's print, I have successfully entered your contact into the database, redirecting you to the main menu. And now we are done with this function after we call the main page. Now let's do our search for specific contact function. Okay, so let's print. Again, we want to tell them what they've chosen, just so they know, we know that they chose the right thing, if that makes sense. So we know what the user chose. You have chosen to search for a contact. Let's type that. That sounds good. Please type the name of the contact you want to search for. That sounds like a nice message for the user. And then put colon there. And then once again, our user input is equal to input of an empty string. And after this, we are going to say names is equal to db.keys. So what does this do? It sets, this is a list, and the list is equal to all of the keys in the database, all of the keys. So what I can do now is I can say if contact in names, sorry, I'm not contact, we named our variable user input, right? If user input in names, then what we want to do is we want to print. Again, we're going to use a formatted string. I found the contact. And then we're going to use the format in here. Contact, user input. And then we're going to do another one of these little apostrophes. User inputs phone number is, and then we're going to access the value of a key. And how do we do that? Well, I'm glad you asked. So let's look at the documentation. Get a key's value. Value is equal to dB, and then inside of those square brackets, we put the name of the key. So in this case, we're going to want to do dB of user input dot strip dot lower, and this is why we have to do dot strip dot lower up here. Where was it? Right here. We have to do it right here. And yeah, I think that's it. We're done with this. But what if the user input isn't in names? Else we can print. Oh, let's print. Sorry, I couldn't find the user in the phone book. Directing you to the main menu. And then let's call main menu. Not in the else though. We want to call it even if we are in the if. So we want to call main page. There we go. And our last thing that we want to program is remove contact. So let's go down here. We're going to say def remove contact. And then we don't want to pass any parameters in here. Once again, our first step is to alert the user that they chose to remove a contact. You have chosen to remove a contact. Please enter the name of the contact you wish to terminate. Terminate's a nice word for this. And then we're going to say, let's call it deleted key. Deleted key is equal to input, once again, an empty input. And then we're going to say del, which means delete, db, deleted key. And then print F. I have successfully deleted key from your phone book, redirecting you to the main menu. Let's make this in lowercase e. You might say, but the mask key, what if the deleted key isn't in the database? Well, it's going to give us an error, and we can test this out because it looks like we're done with the program. We don't know though, there might be a bug. Okay, so let's try adding a contact. I'm going to call the first contact the mask geek. Phone number 111-111-1111. Yes, it entered the contact. Let's go. So far, this is a success. Let's enter another contact, the Coding Geek. Coding Geek's phone number 222-222-2222. Yes, again, another success. Now let's search for the mask geek. Yes, it found the contact. Search for the Coding Geek. It also found the Coding Geek, which is good. And lastly, let's test remove. Let's remove the mask geek. Oh, and we forgot one little thing right here where we forgot to call main page. But I think you get the idea. This is a complete program. And to answer your question, yes, there will be an error if I try to enter something that isn't in the database. If I try to remove something that isn't in the database. See, there's an error. So yeah, that's going to do it. I hope you like my phone book, and yeah, I hope if you like this video, please make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.